Other things to avoid doing when you network. Stalking, follow-up. There's 3 types of follow-up. One is there's appropriate follow-up, which means I enjoyed our conversation. I feel like I can be a resource for you and be helpful. I'd like to schedule a conversation to continue our dialogue. That's appropriate professional follow-up. The other follow-up that I find, frankly, more in the attorneys, the accountants, is, I don't want to call it the apathetic follow-up, but they're kind of like, well, if they really want me, they'll call. I don't want to follow up. I don't want to bug them. And I'm like, you don't understand. You're solving somebody's problem. When I had to let this woman go and I contacted the attorney, man, this keeps me up at night. This makes me distracted on the weekends. You're not bugging me by returning my call. Or you're not bugging me if you know you can solve my headache. So, that's the other part of it. And then there's the third group of people who are the people who, I called you yesterday and haven't heard back from you. I got a Facebook invitation from somebody who was in the audience the other day, and you're happy to Facebook me. Just please say in there where you've met me. And I explained this in a situation. The guy wrote, you were the speaker at such and such a bank, sort of a thing. And what I do is I park my Facebook and LinkedIn to the weekend. Or I'll kind of do it when I'm watching 2.5 Men or something kind of lighthearted where I can kind of process all of this. And so I ignored it and figured I would do it later on in the week. I get an email from him the next day saying, how come you've ignored my Facebook invitation? And I sent him a note back saying, I guess you missed the part of stalking in my presentation. And he emailed me back and he says, well, this is the tough thing to do because people say I have a big network, but they also accuse me of name dropping. And I said, well, and I thought, why am I engaging this guy? This is what I get paid to do for a living. He was in the audience. I'm kind of done with this. So over the weekend, I did accept his Facebook invitation, but I kind of left it at that. I think that's one mistake. I think the other thing is not being able to articulate your value. When you need to be able to answer the question, what do you do? And it's a very American question. I will say that. It is a very American question. So when you're in the international space, Europeans or Asians don't often start out with very quickly in the conversation in the United States, you say, what do you do? And outside of the United States, you don't. It's more about who you are, kind of your hobbies. They say outside of the United States, we work to live. They live to work. So there's kind of a little bit of a different priority sort of a thing. Not staying in touch is a huge mistake. Letting people know what you're doing and how they can help you and the resource they can have for you. Other mistakes, I think, is not understanding what networking is. Networking is not sales. It's not job hunting. It's building relationships before you need them. When you need the job, when you need the client, is when you tap into your network. It's not when you start doing the networking.